there is a ton of energy moving through many of us right now. I would venture to say all of us, but to the degree that we are aware or conscious about moving energy as it manifests in emotion or thoughts, feelings, sensations, the nervous system, if we have some conscientiousness around us being completely energetic and made of energy in the various manifestations of what energy actually is. So we have this, what we perceive as very dense matter, but it in fact is all energy in a very specific constellation and configuration that gives it its inherent individual aspects, its inherent glittering crescendo of image that can then be embodied, right? So the energy can be embodied, and we are feeling massive changes. I am feeling massive changes, particularly around the releasing of stagnant, ancient programming of consciousness, belief structure, inherent stuck emotional energy that has been so pervasive, so inbuilt to my sense of identity, to my sense of myself, because it has resided in the mimetic memory field of what I think of myself as me. When we even consider who we are and what we mean when we say me or I, many of us are automatically wired to know ourselves through a conventional idea of self that isn't actually true self. It isn't actually organic, true nature expressing itself. So we have constructs of our identities. We have the labels, we have the categorizations, we have the name, we have the personal history. We have all of these multi-layered, defined concepts that we live into in our everyday life because they get reified as we just exist and live in the world, because they get reified through the belief structures of what we're around, the environments that we're around, the families that we're born into, the interactions that we're having, in some way, shape, or form, are reifying certain beliefs about ourselves that we may not have even made contact with. And so as a shaman, as an energy worker, and as a healer, and just also as a human being, I have been called to go on a deep journey of self-realization, which is requiring the deepest form of true understanding of the substrates of consciousness itself that give rise to all of the manifestation of my experience, of the experience of experiencing itself, the experience of experiencing thinking, the experience of experiencing emotion and feeling, the experience of experiencing literally anything and everything happening at such an automatic deep level day to day. But to really be able to start to go and penetrate what is happening in reality requires a level of contact with the aspects of true nature that have the inbuilt function for listening. The inbuilt capacity for presence, understanding. When we are able to actually start to recognize that there's veils, some of us might have already come into contact with degrees of veils, of illusions. And the penetration of our understanding of what is a veil of illusion and what isn't is a huge, wide spectrum that takes the being on a full kaleidoscopic adventure into the infinite, and can give rise and give way to the experience of one's eternal nature, of eternity. And the more we come into contact, particular capacities can begin to give way. When the soul has come with a particular instruction to awaken, everything that arises starts to become seen through the understanding that it is in perfect design for one's awakening. This journey of awakening that many of us are undergoing at this time is being amped up, catalyzed through each of our unique journeys, our unique soul-printed, blueprinted instructions to remember why we came here. It's not a cognitive answer. Yet, the ability to access the listening capacities that are inherent start to unfold and unfurl naturally the more we ask questions. We become very curious, maybe even a bit like a detective, to understand what is at play in my consciousness, my particular constellation of consciousness, and how is this inherently connected to all consciousness, all sentience, all that is. where this has led me, and I know many others on this journey, is the deepest commitment, devotion, and courage to come into contact with that which seems to be other or separate. And inbuilt in this are particularly important lessons of boundary. Many of us are confused about boundaries, what they are, what they mean, how to have them, how to make them and create them, because at some level, we are boundless at a very deep level. And so we're in this sort of energetic, cosmic tug of war at some level, at some aspect, where we're coming into contact with boundless nature, all that is, and also the deeper need to integrate boundary to have clarity and a clear knowing of our unique, true fingerprint, our organic structure, our inherent birthright. The wars that we see outside happening in the world, the devastation that we see happening out in the world, is mirroring the war and the separation that we are harboring inside of our own consciousness, inside of our own being. The code of war is ancient, and it has been a part of this planetary, it has been part of our planet for a very long time. We have not been born into a world without this inherent code coming with us. We were born into it, and it has been there. But we're talking about I think what we're treading upon on this awakening journey is a nuance of what is real and what is true. There's a lot of things that are really happening. Our interpretations, however, contain within them aspects of our unconscious, unhealed, forgotten truth. This is about understanding what love really is and what love really means, especially at this time on our planet, and what it will start to look like as we begin to remember our own selves as love. when we remember we are love, not a loving act, not loved by another, not something that is impermanent, transactional, but essential, true. Where I am becoming unlocked and free is in recognizing my own unconscious, and where aspects of control still has had a grip. This grip is starting to loosen. It's starting to get tired. Because the truth is unwavering. It need only be penetrated deeper and deeper and deeper for it to inevitably have to give way. The control has to give way and yield, because the truth is what is actually inherently fundamental. And that is, love doesn't control. Love need no control. When we contact the love that we are essentially rendering the deepest aspects of our psyches, of our ancestry, of our incarnations here. We are rendering all mechanisms of control to release. And to each their own, this will be a titration. I give so much thanks to those that are willing to look at themselves and to not turn away, to the pain that has been caused, that we get to take responsibility for, even if it's not at the personal level. Whenever control has been present at all in our field because of fear, because of not being in contact with the love that we are, a pattern of pain has become reified, a pattern of fear. And we're here to actually let the beauty reign again. The beautiful cosmic geometry patterns, meticulous and gorgeous patterns of our actual makeup as divine aspects, divine beings. We are changing our patterning psychically, emotionally, consciously, all different ways. We are becoming more beautiful inherently because it is our true emanation. And so I give thanks to everybody that is doing the work on themselves. And wherever it is taking you on your journey and you feel like it is a lot, it is a lot. It is a lot. It will take us to the deepest trenches. But we are lifting the veil together. And so, blessing. You are a blessing. Thank you so much for being here, for respecting yourself again, forgiving yourself now, understanding yourself more, and loving yourself because that's what you are. Amen.